Morning, Francisco. Good morning.
Morning. Sorry, good morning.
Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the way you use the board. Yeah, the way you use the board. And the first question I want to ask you is, if you know the way you use your board, do you think it's randomly or systematically?
Okay, I think I use the board randomly
Randomly. Why do you think you use it randomly?
because it depends. Sometimes the unit of the lessons of the vocabulary. Sometimes I use more maybe in a day. I use it. I know all the class, and maybe another day only half of the class. Sometimes, so I think I use the board randomly. That's why.
What do you usually write before writing the new information, introducing new information on the board?
I try to first write the date
The day, but
and
then
the date and the unit and the topic about the lesson we are talking about.
and where do you exactly place the dates?
At the to
Usually.
the above the right to the right of the board.
To the right of the
Yes,
well, on top.
on the top. Yes.
Well, in the first part of your lesson, I have that you wrote about something about the barrier clauses before, after, and when,
Yes.
and then you wrote the instruction. Do you usually write instructions
Yes.
for students?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
To make sure that if they listen, they check also the board to see what they are going to do.
Okay, so for example, you have review vocabulary, unit 5, page 128. So a student were supposed to
Check the vocabulary first, and then ask for questions about the vocabulary they don't know, and then we're going to discuss all in class the words.
Then I noticed that you pass your students to write a list that unknown words for them.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How often do students pass to the board in a class?
Sometimes I pick the students, and sometimes they themselves want to come. Either way.
Okay. So who spends more time on board, you or your students?
Sometimes half of the time they or me. It depends. It depends of the class.
And what do you usually you use the board for, basically?
Instructions and practice exercises
Exercises
and information.
and information.
Yes.
Okay. And well, in the part 2 of your lesson, you wrote instructions about looking words in a dictionary, looking up words, and then discuss the unit topics, right?
Yes.
And finally, you wrote another instruction. Then answer exercise 1 and 3 in your book. Only 3 parts of the lesson, right?
Yes.
Well, we have a layout here. It is about the assistant that they recommend for us to use and to take advantage of our board. For example, in the first part, they suggest us to write the permanent information that we're going to use the whole class maybe. And then we have the main section where you are going to develop the stages of the lesson, where you're going to write basically what you're going to do during the lesson. And the last part is the impromptu notes, perishables, maybe words that students say, or teacher, I don't understand this word, could you spell it out for me, or something like that. So you have a specific place to write it. Have you ever followed any of these patterns before?
Not really like exactly like that.
Not exactly, but
no.
do you ever try any other?
Well, just my use of the my common sense of using the board with the all the this time of teaching, okay, with the information, the first thing that you have to do, and the last thing that you do in the class before you write it. You start with that.
Okay, do you think that your students can follow you when you write on the board? That is, that they don't get lost when
Yes.
when you're writing, because you write here and there and over there, and you don't think they get lost at any time?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
No.
No.
Why not?
Because I try to follow the same steps, but with the last thing we saw. That's why.
So and then you erase the previous information so they don't get confused.
Yes.
Right. So do you have any part of the board that you say this part is for the students to write, or they can write anywhere they want?
No, they follow they use
The space available.
one part of the board. Okay. Basically, I start on the top left part, and then I leave the other side blank for new things or the exercise they're going to do or something like that.
Okay. Well, have you ever tried playing games on the board or something?
Games?
Games. Yeah, tic-tac-toe or the hangman or something. Have you ever used the board for,
Maybe yes.
for that purpose?
Not here, but sometime maybe in junior high maybe.
Okay. So, do you think it's a good idea to use or try to use systematically the board?
Yes, maybe.
Maybe
Go for a new system of using the board.
the board,
Yes.
right? Why do you think it would be a good idea?
Because it's you can try to use the board more intelligent maybe, or more with a new way of learning more quickly. I don't know. I think that can be a way.
Okay, so I think it is that is all. Yeah. Well, thank you, Francisco.
Okay.
That's it. If it works or not. Well, Francisco, we have you have this layout. You
Okay.
have the unit, the topic, and the activities you have to do.
Yes.
But if I come to your classroom, I'll see the board. I don't know what to do first.
Okay.
So I think that it's a good idea that you number the steps of your lesson. For example, in that part where you have the review vocabulary, maybe you could write activity 1.
Okay. With numbers.
With numbers.
Okay.
And then after checking the vocabulary, which is the second activity, maybe you could write activity 2, and finally activity 3.
Okay.
And then if someone comes in and check your board, he's gonna notice that you follow.
When you start.
Yes, when you start.
Okay.
And it's easy for students to follow you if they're not paying attention at some time or at a step in the lesson, when they see the board, they're going to check what
Yes.
part of the lesson they
Okay.
are working on.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So, and that's it basically.
Okay.
My observation.
Thank you. That's a good
You're
tip.
welcome.